and welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. And today we're talking about Chad Ochocinco Johnson, the former NFL star who saved 83% of his salary by making smart financial decisions. He flew Spirit Airlines. He wore fake jewelry instead of wasting money on luxury. And we'll explore how temptations like fast cars, women, overspending can ruin your wealth, and how we all can learn from his approach, even if we're not NFL players. So today I have my beautiful queens here. Today we have Athena Gardner, CPA and founder of We Wealth Women. We have Lindsay Vertner, international mindset coach and speaker, and Marlo Layson, film and TV producers. Hello, queens. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about today, but let's jump into the video of Chad, who is talking about how he ended up saving this much money, because we got a lot to dive in. Me personally, I think the man is smart, but you are viewing family. We want to know your initial thoughts on how did he do this? We hear that athletes get in trouble all the time. Musical artists get in trouble all the time. How do you think he did it? Is he a good example to do to our kids? So let's listen to what he has to say.
And like you're very fiscally responsible. You're very conscious of what you spend it on and how much you're spending. Have you always been like that?
Always. You got to remember, I stayed at the stadium the first 2 years.
Right.
I didn't want to spend no money.
Right.
What's the point?
Why
are you telling Marvin gonna come third year? Why are you telling me go rent a house, go buy a house, go rent a condo, when everything I need is right here in the facility at Paul Brown?
Right.
Showers, cafeteria, TV, couch, gaming system. What's the point? What's the point? And I was so locked in, it wasn't about having my own space and having women come.
What about the dating life? How you gonna bring somebody?
For what? I'm locked in. I'm a rookie.
Okay.
I ain't got time. Date for what? Date for what? I needed that 1 year lock in, catch the rhythm. My second year, I caught the rhythm.
Okay.
I caught the rhythm of the game.
Right.
I felt like, okay, I got it now.
Because I think a third year I came and I did a sit down with you in your place.
Yeah. At that point, okay, I got it now. I was good. And that's when Marvin came in and also said, now it's time for you to be responsible, spread your wing, get your own place. So listen, I moved right down the street. One Lido place, I never forget. One little bedroom.
But see, the thing is, you already had it. It's easy for you to do that now, Ocho, because you had the jewelry, you had the car.
No. Never bought real anything when I was playing. Never. What was the point? I went to Claire's.
So all you do?
Yes. For what? What am I doing it for? The women don't deal with you anyway because of who you are.
Right.
And then the other women who really doing their homework, don't Google how much you're making already.
Right.
Why am I buying a $50,000 watch, $80,000 watch? What time is it, real quick? Please.
It's 20 minutes to 4.
How much that cost me?
It didn't cost you nothing.
Because time is free. So what I'm paying for?
Right.
For what? I'm Ocho.
It makes me happy when I hear him saying this. The way this makes me tickled, I can't even explain it, because I have dealt with a lot of athletes in Denver where I first started my real estate career. Guys, all the basketball players, the football players would come in and they could barely afford the rent. The credit was so bad. So when I hear that he is doing this and he's been so successful at it, it really makes me happy. So before we move into this conversation, I want you to realize something. Everybody thinks that these athletes make a whole lot of money, but let me give you an idea of some of the breakdowns, because not everybody is making quarterback amounts, right? So the highest paid football positions are quarterbacks, defensive ends, offensive tackles, and that begins at 8 million to 40 million. And the highest paid are Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. Now, the lowest paid are the special team positions like a kicker, punter, long snapper. And those positions pay 1 million. They start at 1 million. They don't go that high. So you know, you have to put into perspective, a lot of the times people are living it up above their means. So I'm not just asking you, queens, and I'm going to start with you, Marlo, but I also want to hear our family. I want to hear our viewership family. If you had $48 million, would you fly Spirit? Go ahead, Marlo, hit me up on that answer.
I don't know. Well, so it's twofold, right? I think if you are in the NFL, you already have access to luxury, right? Chad Johnson, Chad Ochocinco, whatever you want to call him, he came into the league high in demand, and he was a valuable player coming into the league. And what we saw was him talking about getting his worth and making sure that he was focused and locked into the game. So part of that comes with luxury already, right? Like he's saying, he had everything at the facility because those facilities are luxury facilities. So I think I probably would treat myself every now and then if I'm on a longer flight, especially. But I like saving money, y'all. So I'm not mad at this at all. It actually makes me. I'm a football fan. I'm a sports fan in general, but it makes me respect him even more so, understanding that he was really trying to hone in and learn the game, right, and perfect his craft, and focus on all the other stuff on the back end. I love it. Good. Shout out to Chad.
I love it. I love it. And Marlo, is your bling today from Zales, or where did you get that from, darling?
Actually, it is from the house of JC Penney. I bought it 2 years ago for a wedding that I was attending, and I get compliments on it all the time. I've never been asked, is it real? I've never been asked what it is. It is actually a combination of plastique and zirconia, but it's cute, and I like it, and I think that people should wear what they like. So me and Chad, we locked in.
And I love it on you. You sparkle, queen, you sparkle. So Lindsay, I'm going to bounce this question to you because I'm asking, if you had 48 million, would you fly Spirit? Because one of our viewers said, no. Nicole says, nope, Delta me, please. What about you?
Listen, I don't have 48 million and I still wouldn't fly Spirit. So there's that part. I done heard too many horror stories about Spirit, and I like comfort and convenience. Not saying that I'm going to be first class all the time or anything like that, or I need a private jet, but from what I hear about Spirit, I care about my Spirit.
I feel you, sis. I've done it one time and one time only. No.
Listen, I don't want my back hurting. I'm already tall, so I ain't trying to squeeze. I heard the seats were very uncomfortable. Ain't nobody got time for that. So go ahead, Southwest or Delta me, please. I'll do one of those.
I'll even take budget on Delta, but Spirit, little too much. So Big Mac says, heck, every now and then I'll ride the Greyhound bus. I'm not to Big Mac. All right, now listen, we got to talk to Athena, our queen, because she radiates this and she has luxury, darling. So if you had 48 million, Athena, would you fly Spirit?
Okay, so the answer to that is no. And I can say no because I've actually flown Spirit before, and me and Spirit don't get along. Right? Spirit will leave you having, to catch the Spirit. Okay, might be raptured up flying on Spirit. What I don't like is not necessarily the cost or the budget or the saving. I just believe that there's energy to things, and to be honest, I just don't like the people on the flights with Spirit. Spirit tends to attract a certain group that I just don't like. I just don't like. It's a little bit too rachetta on the Spirit flight for me. So
I'm with you because the time that I did fly them, I was so uncomfortable, guys. And I not only was I uncomfortable, I really didn't need to have the perfume sold to me in the middle of the flight. I'm like, what is this?
Not the perfume being sold on the flight. What was it like? Elizabeth White Diamonds? What are we trying to sell? What was it?
Listen, there's a whole nother thing about that. We can do a whole show on just Spirit. But you know what? I get where he's coming from. You hear him talking about he was focused, he was locked in, and he actually stayed at the stadium during that first year. And then the second year, he started to feel like he got his rhythm, and got that together. And then the third year, he lived just down the street in a 1-bedroom apartment. I get what his ideas come across, and I'm not mad at them because let's face it, guys, we think that all these things are fine and these bling and get to know your name. But actually, these sports are really not that safe either. You have to understand that they face a lot of bodily injury. If something should happen to them and they're out of the game, that's their whole career. They have an average time of about 3 years in the game. So, it's a lot that goes on to it. So Marlo, if you're managing a lifestyle after such shifts, and we know that could be pretty tough, how do you think Chad should balance his new lifestyle now that he's had a sudden change of income compared to what he was doing before?
Well, I think that that's what he's been preparing for, right? Like, if you know the statistics about NFL players, MLB players, NBA players, the saddest documentary I've ever seen is called Broke. And it is all about how these guys go out not anticipating life after the game. They haven't saved money. They've been swindled out of their money. So I think that Chad was operating from a safe place, right? If he sat down and he's talked to other veterans in the game and they've shared with him their pitfalls of the accountant that stole money, of the accountant that wasn't paying the taxes, of the home that was at a mortgage that he couldn't afford, right? And then you're thinking about potential injury. These contracts are not fixed in place. These guys could get bounced around. You could be the champion and the marquee player on one team, and you could go and be second on the bench for another team, right? Just depending on how all of this stuff is structured. So I think that he was operating from a place of looking future forward, right? So when you think of working people, they got their 401ks. Chad essentially created his own 401k by not spending a whole lot of money and prioritizing a time when he wasn't catching that ball. And I think that that's just what we're seeing, right? If you don't know what you were gonna do after football, right? Because he left the game before these podcasts were a thing. You really could only be an analyst. You could sell some cars or product or whatever. So I think he just has been anticipating this, and he didn't want to be one of those statistics of athletes that don't have anything to show for the blood, sweat, and tears of being a professional athlete.
I totally agree. I think he came in with the right mindset. And mindset is everything, right? I mean, mindset is about everything that we do, not just sports. I mean, in our own household, mindset is everything. But we have a couple other things that we're definitely going to talk about, but we're going to take a short break. And then when we come back, I have some more questions for my queens and you as well, our viewer family.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I am Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I am the proud producer of this show. So I hope that every day when you join us, you leave a little smarter than you came, because that's the point. Otherwise, why are you watching? So if you want to receive notices for when we go live, Fly Nubian Money goes live every single day. That's Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know, now you know. All you have to do is text the word Queens. That's Queens. That's Queens to 87948. That's 87948. That's Queens to 87948. Yes? If you want.
Make sure you do that right now because you got time to do it and you don't want to miss any of our shows. Athena, you're our wealth person. You got this going on. You got it locked in. So what strategy would you have advised Chad to adopt when it comes to wealth management over the long term?
Well, what I really appreciated about Chad and his approach is that he kept his salary intact and lived off of his endorsements and other things. Because I remember seeing Chad, because I used to watch Basketball Wives, you know, Princess of Pop Culture, and he was with Evelyn, and there was an episode when they were on the beach and he was in the Bentley and all that, and he was like, explained to people that he was living off of his endorsement money. And I've seen things with him talking about the fake jewelry and things that he has done. So I just want to commend him for doing that in the first place, because most NFL players only have a 3-year career. And even though the average salary is about $2.7 million a year, for a rookie, it's on an average of $705,000. So I think he knew going in that he didn't know their money's not guaranteed. He doesn't know if he's going to trade. He doesn't know if he's going to get injured. Right? Most of them fall into bankruptcy. Now, what I would advise, since he has all that money, is to also make sure that money is working for you. Make sure you're putting it in assets that are definitely beating inflation. I would advise him to put into income generating assets. So cash flow businesses like car wash, certain franchises per se, definitely have some index fund in his portfolio. if you wanted to do real estate, he could do that as well, whether it's commercial or different residential properties. And then it will also depend on his risk level and how much he really wanted to, what his risk profile was as far as like which investments would work for him and his lifestyle. But I'm sure hopefully he's doing that right now. But I would definitely lean him towards that direction. Stock market for sure.
Definitely stock market. Same. I think, when people come to ask me, like, how do they build their wealth to get any kind of real estate? If you can get any kind of real estate, which you can, even starting out, like, he was smart. Like, I really don't know how much more I would have advised him, because he came into this with the right mindset. He didn't live above his means. He took advantage of what was offered to him, included in his contract, and even as he went up, he took a small apartment down the street. I would have advised probably putting a little more real estate in there, but definitely the stock market. And then you don't have to put big amounts in. You don't have to be real risky, but to diversify his money. But Lindsay, we talked about how his mindset is. So you hear about him saying that he was locked in and he was focused. What mindset do you think is essential for him and for all of us to maintain so that we could keep that discipline?
When I heard him say that, I heard discipline. The mindset coach in me was in love. I said, yes, 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 Chad, because I always talk about what I call the 3 pillars of self, which are self-care, self-worth, and self-discipline. And those 3 pillars, they subconsciously impact every single thing that we do, both personally and professionally. So when he was like, I was a rookie, I was focused, he had a goal and he had made the dream. I mean, think about how many athletes are trying to make it pro and they never really get there. So he is already in a lower number and he wanted to keep that. And so he was like, I'm not about to be worried about girls, females, and none of that stuff. I need to be focused on the game so that I can make sure my career, assuming he doesn't get injured or anything, can withstand the long haul. So kudos to him for that. On the mindset coaching side. Now, on the former therapist side, one, yes, I'm still happy because I see discipline. But however, if I knew more about his story, there could also be some trauma experiences there. And by that, maybe he grew up poor. I don't know his background, so I don't know how he grew up. But, there are some things too, feeling like you have to hold on to all of your money. But he did say he'll spend on his kids and he'll spend on his lady and he'll buy them real items. So maybe not. I would need more information to really understand if there were some like societal issues or upbringing issues where now he's holding on to money as a form of security or as a form of control and things like that.
Well, AA says, yes, mindset is everything. And I have to agree with that. I mean, if you wake up and you roll over and you look at it and you go, oh, it's another day, then you're already set your mindset for the day for it to be just another dreary day. But however, you wake up and you're like, oh, what a beautiful morning. This is going to be a productive day. You've already released those endorphins. But no matter what his background was, and we will try to touch on that a little bit, I see that whatever it was, even if it was traumatic, he has broken that cycle and now become a responsible person for teaching his children the right way to move forward. I truly think that is a lot to say for that. And I know that a lot of people thought that he was like very vain. Remember when he was at the peak of his career and that's all you heard was, Ocho, everything. But I feel that that was his peak and that was his prime, and he should have basked in that. We all need to understand that we work hard for what we do. Look at this photo. I mean, really? Like, this is like the prime. This screams Ocho. I mean, I just think that it's absolutely wonderful that he was able to bask in that, because you know what, you do hit your peak and then you come down and life changes. We all have our own different levels. So Marlo, I do want to ask you, do you think that athletes are under pressure and movie stars and all those to spend money to look successful? And how does that mirror what we do every day to keep up appearances, Miss Bling, 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 Bling?
Well, it is, right? It is definitely, you create a character. Some people do it as a buffer. Some people do it, just so that they can go in the light and be larger than life. But there are so many instances of the pressure that we see, right? The way that the entrance, right? There's cameras when they walk into the tunnel, right? So we see what they're wearing to work every day when they're going to play. We're critiquing it. It's going viral. They have all of their endorsements and things we know about, right? Because they're business deals, so they're getting tracked. So people are like, oh, such and such just signed a $50 million deal with Doritos, right? And it's like, oh, he got money because he got this and he got that. And there is pressure on them to reflect the lifestyle that I guess they expect that we expect, right? And I wish it were that everybody could just relax and be themselves, but we just are not in that space anymore. And everybody's curated lifestyle is so much more important than the reality of their life, right? You see Chad talking about wanting to be the best, and while he was doing antics and he was the top talking point on SportsCenter every Monday morning after Sunday games, right? Because he had the stats, but also because the personality was so much larger than life. But that was to get him to a place where he could do endorsements, because nobody wants a boring person endorsing them. Nobody wants a person endorsing them that people don't know. If you could get a little bit of controversy, then that's going to give you more bang for your buck, because that makes your product a big talker, right? Amongst the people. So it's kind of a vicious cycle that we have ourselves in. But I think that stepping back is always good. Stepping back is always an option. You don't really have to offset out like you do, Cardi, but we watch. But we also feed it, right? Because we have expectations of what we think celebrities should look like, how celebrities should live, how they should appear in public. And so the general public is also responsible for some of the showiness that's going on. Also, the internal competition between the locker rooms, right? Because the guys like to dress up. They like to have a necklace. Oh, where'd you get your watch? Oh, I'm going to get that car. Or I was going to get that car, but I got this car. Like, so it's competitive people being competitive, but it's also the expectations that we put on the lifestyles.
Big Mac says people try to impress others, and that's the problem. And I think that I see that every single day. I think we all do. Everybody wants to keep up with the Joneses. I think that everyday people fall into the same traps as athletes and movie stars, and we overspend on the luxury cars and the clothes and the unnecessary things that we feel like we need to be successful. If the neighbor has put in a pool, now all of a sudden we feel like we want to put in a pool. Or if someone you're working with comes home and said they've bought a bigger house, now all of a sudden you want a bigger house. And Betsy walks into work and she's got the red bottom shoes, and all of a sudden you feel like you have to have the red bottom shoes. But what I have also experienced, and I always encourage people, you need to get out of your box. Get out of your box, get out of your bubble, travel, go worldwide, see what the world is like. When I am in Portugal, y'all, when they put these entertainers on, they all ages, they wear just regular everyday things, and they don't care. These people love the music. They love these rugby stars. I call them rugby, but they call it football. So I feel that we as everyday people can enjoy life without all these things trying to keep up with the Joneses. So how do we do that? Where do we start with this, Athena? How can we get out of that mindset of enjoying our money, but not so much that we're chasing the debt that could possibly come with it?
I'm glad that you asked this question, Lala, because what I want everyone to understand, and We Wealth Women, I talk to women about this all the time. Money and our approach to money and finances is often an emotional thing. We really downplay the emotions and the psychology behind what we're doing. And what I often have people do, and I suggest for the viewers to do, is take your past 2 months bank statements and go through them and see what categories that you spent in. And that is a reflection of the value that you place in your life. So if I value fitness, you're going to see the gym in there. You're going to see nutrition. You're going to see healthy food. You're going to see that on that statement. So to really, for people to start understanding, do my values really align in the way that I say it do? And then also to understand that there's a psychology behind money. And one of my favorite books, which I will recommend to the viewers, are The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. I actually met him. He's a really cool guy. But for example, for me, right, I have no problem spending money on a dress, spending money on makeup, spending money on these things. But when I have to spend money on my car, when I have to take my car for even something as cheap as an oil change, I get like a feeling, I'm like, oh, like I get upset that I have to spend money on this. Why is that? So I had to unpack, why am I upset? I have no problem spending this money on a dress, but I'm upset to a car which I need to like do maintenance on. And I realized it's because growing up, my dad took care of all the manly related things. So anytime I have to spend on auto expenses or at the pay a handyman to do something, I get upset because I'm just like, oh, I should have a man doing this for me, right? But that's my psychology. So everyone has their own psychology behind their money. And what I would advise everyone to do is to do what I did. Just analyze, what do I feel no problem spending on? And what do I feel also there's pain when I have to spend in this area? The other thing I will also do is look at your extraneous spending. And if your, extraneous spending is more than the amount of money you put away for like retirement or investments, then I would have to reconsider, or I encourage my clients to reconsider, okay, what is more important? And also, you don't have to sacrifice everything. Another mistake I see with people doing is, all right, I have to save money and I have to do this budget and all this other things. And then you go drastically and then you end up hating doing those things and then you rebound the other way. So those are just a few tips.
Great tips. And we have a whole lot more to talk about and how you can also maximize your money, because that's what we do here. But stay tuned. We have a message for you and we'll get right back into the conversation.
You want to grow your money and not blow your money, as Constance says, check us out at flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, programs, videos, resources. In 2024, there's no reason to be broke when there's information all around us. So get your money right. flynubianmoney.com.
She didn't get to finish it. FlyNubianMoney.com. Go on over there and get your resources, because we are talking about money today, right? Because that's what we do here. We get your mindset together, your money together. Come on, go on over there, because we got a lot of really great stuff. Now, listen, we are having some really good comments from people. They tickle me with some of these. Keep them coming, y'all. We love to talk to you. So Terry Wilson says, we have to be secure in yourself so that you do not feel you need to compete with anyone else except yourself. And I think a lot of us forget about that sometimes. We get so caught up. And then Alpha says, if he signs that fake jewelry, it's worth as much as the real thing. I think that's actually pretty smart. I think that's actually very true. So, Lindsay, when you think about wealth, how much is it about discipline versus how much you make? And is having self-control more important than earning a lot?
So here's the thing about discipline. Self-discipline is about controlling your desires and impulses while staying focused on what needs to get done so that you can achieve your goals and, be able to live like most people can't live. I know we see all of these flashy personas online, but we're also finding out that a lot of them are fake. A lot of them are struggling and things like that. And so whenever we can have that self-discipline and have that self-control to deny ourselves a desire or a want right now so that we can build that wealth, so that we can live easily later on down the line and not be working until our deathbeds, then those are good things to work towards. But that starts in our mindset. That starts with identifying our relationship to money, like Athena was saying, because we all have a relationship to money. Some people feel like they constantly have to work to be able to earn money. And so if somebody were to give them some money, they would go clean the house or something because they feel like they have to earn it and things like that. Like Athena said, her relationship with the car from her dad and men. She needs people.
Every time I have to pay for a man related expense, I my heart start hurt a little bit inside. I'm like, I need to get a man right now. I should not be paying.
Yes, so we all have a relationship with money that will determine how we spend our money, determine how we save our money. And so it starts with healing those parts of us so we can have healthy relationships with money so that we can invest and make our money work for us and start to close this wealth gap, because there are some wealthy Black Americans, but we need some more wealthy Black Americans, okay?
Yeah, but then we have this idea of it being bougie. So Big Back actually has a really good comment. It says, but for some reason, people in our culture brag about spending a lot of money or overpaying. And I don't understand that. I don't either, Big Mac, because that's never impressed me. I don't need to know how much you spent on your china. I don't need to know how much you spent on your house. It's the quality of person. If I want to be around you, I want to be around you. But yet we're also taught in our mindset to not always be the highest one in the room, meaning not highest of money all the time, but the highest of mindset. Because if you want to grow, you need to be like the middle part of the room where someone under you can learn from you, and then you learn from someone above you. We have a lot of things so twisted. So this actually brings me to a good question. I'm going to throw this one to you, Marlo. Are we teaching enough about money in our schools, or is this something that we have to learn the hard way?
No, ma'am, Pam. We are not teaching the kids anything about money. I know a lot of schools are saying that they are adopting some sort of money management curriculum. I know here in Louisiana, they're starting to do stuff in high schools, but it's kind of too late, right? We're already a debtor society. We're already a society where people's, debt to income ratio, for the most part, are like out of whack. So I think that while it's a good idea, it's something that starts at home. My parents used to sit down and do the bills at the table, and they used to talk about it. And they didn't shun us from being part of the conversation, right? And so we understood if we were going on a family trip that there was saving that had to be done. If we were, whatever we were doing, there was a little bit understanding that my brother and I had of budgeting and watching money and watching it work, right? Because my dad was the primary earner in the house. So I think that we still have to do it at home. You have to teach your kids. I know you want your kid to be able to be on the social media with the best sneakers on the first day of school, but we should be teaching them value, like internal values. And I think that we got it flipped in society right now. And I think that what's on the outside matters far more than what's on the inside, because we're fed by this instant gratification in our pockets, right? And so if you look cute, everybody big up in you. And so you just want to keep pushing out that facade. And I think that is part of where kids are losing. If you look at statistics, millennials and money is really the DoorDash has them in a chokehold, y'all, and they are losing.
Yes, and those things can add up. When people come to me and they show me their budget, they want to see if they can buy a house, and they start, and I make them do a worksheet, and I mean list everything. Did you buy a piece of chewing gum? Is that an addiction? I want people to see everything that they spend on, and a lot of the times when they see that Starbucks bill, they are like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm spending so much money on coffee. But we have another video that we want to show you. I want to take this a little bit deeper than what we have. So let's cue this up and continue the conversation. I think. I hope. Maybe not. There we go.
And I always do that all the time. Dude, I shop at H&M. Look, this whole outfit, this cost me $60. It's Urban Outfitters. And it's from the sale rack. It's a Levi's jacket and some Dickies that's cut off. Like I'm a skateboarder. I don't skate. But I look good.
Yeah. So that's your whole thing.
And I've always been this way. So you can't, the people on the outside that might be new to who I am now, that are a little older, don't understand. I've been this way the past 20, 25 years.
So you're not going to let society shape Ocho Cinco's idea of who he is or what he should be?
Never. I've never been that way, because I don't need validation from nobody on the outside. Never have, and that's
Mama
another. That's
give you validation. You straight. The kids give you validation. That's dad. We good.
And some of the time they make fun of me, so I don't really need validation from them either. You know, but that's another downfall for us too.
Right.
That's another downfall in society. We always need validation and acceptance from others.
If Commissioner Goodell let you went to the rookie symposium and let you talk, and
I need to. He need to let me do that.
Well, hopefully.
Woo! Woo! He's spitting knowledge, y'all. Spitting knowledge. Now, I'm going to share something with you guys. I mean, I grew up in the country. We grew a lot of our food, and sometimes we actually grew livestock that we did prepare for the winter. So, like, I have lived in cities. I have grown up running barefoot in fields, picking turnip greens out of the fields. And I think a lot of the times we lose the idea and the luxury that we feel, just this everyday luxury that people don't feel is luxury. They take it for granted now. You just go to the grocery store and you buy that piece of meat. You just, you go and you buy your greens at the store. And I think every one of us needs to learn to grow something at home with our hands to understand the process. And we're losing that. We're losing that with our children when they don't understand where this food comes from. And so Rhonda says, my motto is less is more, especially after being in India for a month. Living without a car, to be credit card debt free is my goal. Feeling like you win or you learn. Athena, do you agree with this statement? Because you know what? We can live, depending on where you live. I didn't need those fancy things in the country. What about you?
Well, I think it depends on back to what makes you comfortable, right? I always go back to when I was living in Jamaica and we had a lot less. Did I feel like I was missing out on things? No. But did I know about all the other things I could have had? Yeah, I didn't. So I think it all relates to perspective. As I mature and grow older and grow wiser, I do think that you realize more of the internal things and the things that actually bring value to your life, like your friendship, your relationships, and those things. I mean, I did say the other day, I was looking at my closet, which I need to like declutter the hell out of. But I did say to myself, I was like, okay, Athena, how much more clothes do you need? Like, I think you get to the point where you just don't care anymore. And I've always been someone who's like high-low. And what I wear, I got this Temu ring right now on, right? Versus I got $1,000 robe in the corner right now. So it's like, I've always been that way. And I think people just need to focus more on their happiness. What I have seen is there's a lot of struggling right now in America. We are in a recession. People are being laid off left, right, and center. The dating market is trash. More young people aren't coming together to build, wealth together to shoulder the load, and families are struggling. I do think Chad's message is a great one as far as, focus on what's important and, stack your money so you can be comfortable. I'm glad he followed in the footsteps. I mean, Marshawn Lynch was another player who took that route as well. So hopefully more Americans can really look at them as an example, even a celebrity. Once you know your worth, it does not matter what anybody has to say about it, period. Like I can walk in a room in a $50 Skims dress and shut the room down. And I feel like that's it's more of your internal nature and your internal things that provide the real value anyway.
I think that's a great answer. It's all about your attitude. I remember clearly when I was a little girl, everybody was wearing those Jordache jeans. We couldn't afford Jordache jeans. Everybody had Nike. I had to have Kmart. That's what we had. And at that time, I thought I was just I can't live without what they're doing. But guess what? I'm 54. I lived through it and I've learned from it. So we have to change that mindset. But we are going to pick up this conversation and I'm going to take it in a little bit of a different direction when we come back. But we're going to have this little break. We'll be right back.
Fly Nubian Money is now on Spotify. Yes, yes, yes. We are on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, you can listen to us. All you have to do is search Fly Nubian Money and we will appear. All of our episodes. Make sure that you leave a 5-star rating and reviews so other people that come along and are looking for a good show to watch, they'll follow us too. If you are interested in being on Fly Nubian Money, sorry, I don't have any spaces. I'm just playing. If you are interested in being a queen or a king on Fly Nubian Money for the day, please reach out to me. I'm at info@realvirtual.net. That's info@realvirtual.net. Also, if you need help with your business, go ahead and send me an email for that too. Okay. I've said enough. Now back to the show.
All right, I got my earbuds out because what do I do when I go on my runs? I listen to us. Yeah, I'm kind of weird like that. I know I'm on the show, but sometimes I like to go back and see what I've missed because sometimes I like to see what the comments are as well. So we do watch replays and we would love for you to check us out on Spotify. So listen, I'm going to twist it up just a little bit, and I'm going to ask you to answer honestly, and maybe it might make you a little vulnerable, but how can we help other people if we don't share our little tips and tricks? So Lindsay, what is one thing that you skimp on to save money, but you are not sorry about?
One thing I skimp on to save money. That's a good question because I like to make my money work for me, and I like to have the things that I desire. So we can have self-control and we can have self-discipline, but we don't have to deny ourselves of all the pleasures of life. Okay. So off the top of my head, I can't think of anything specifically.
Really? You don't like coupon or nothing?
Oh, wait. Okay, I take that back. Moment you said coupon, everything triggered within me. Listen, I am a discount queen. I actually have a few plugins on my browser. And so whenever I'm shopping online, because I do a lot of online shopping, like it'll automatically put in coupon codes and I'll just watch that drop to $50 off, $100 off, $87 off. So I take that back. I like coupons and discounts and sales, and that's when I rack up. So that's how I skimp. I just don't directly skimp like, okay, I'm not buying any food today. Well,
right.
It's more so, oh no, I'm gonna buy the fast food, but here's my coupon. Let me redeem these points. Oh, that $12 meal is now $2. Got it.
Exactly. For me, I like to shop clearance. I pretty much shop clearance only. I wait till the end of the season when everything is on sale. And yeah, who cares if I'm buying something summer and it's October? I just put that thing away for next year. So I am a huge clearance person on TJ Maxx, on Ross, on Marshalls, at Target. Those are my favorite places. And especially with this curly hair, y'all, they charge a lot of money for curly hair products, okay? Mixed Chicks is $20. No, ma'am, I will go to Marshalls and buy it for $7.99 in a heartbeat. So that's how I do it. And I'm not sorry. Why would I pay for the same thing, $20 for the same thing when I know I can get it for $7.99, right? So what about you, Athena? Because I know you know how to budget.
Okay, so all right, so how I save money. I love me a good sale, honey. I love me a good sale because some of them $1,000 robes, I got them for less than that. So I love a good sale. Also, when it comes to food, I plan my meals now. So I'm not cooking excess because as a single person, I don't know, I'm Jamaican. I'm raised to cook like I got a family of 5 and I don't. So I had to learn how to like shop in portions so I don't overcook and like waste the food. That was like a hard thing. Like buying bread as a single person is hard because of bread. You don't get through a whole bag of bread by yourself, right? The other thing that I love to do is my man-related expenses. I always look cute. So when I go to the auto shop or where I go, whomever, I always look cute when I go. And I never pay full price for any of those expenses or when they got to come fix something. I also make sure I look good. Okay, so I get all the stuff, but I've never paid I've rarely ever paid full price for any on my man-related expenses, even though I hate paying it or whatever. So things like that I will do to save money and just be more conscious now. I used to be a person that used to buy a lot of clothes all the time. Even if it was Marshall's, Ross, or whatever. But what I've realized and what works better for me now, I shop a lot less, but I will spend more money for higher quality items and wear them more often, because I also feel like the overconsumption of clothing is a big problem. But that is how I save money. I do prioritize comfort, so I will not be catching Spirit. I will not be catching Greyhound. Big Mac, we can't be together because you're going to have me on Greyhound. So, but I will, save in that way.
I think you're right. Now, there's certain things I will not take less quality. There's certain detergents that I will use that I know are better, like to me, Tide, things like that. Like those are, I have certain things that I can do. But I have to admit to you guys, a lot of times of course, I don't wear a lot of expensive jewelry because I have a very sensitive skin thing. So if I wear anything fake, it has to be a certain type of material or else I will break out. So I don't tend to buy a whole lot of expensive stuff. But when I do for quality jewelry, I may, but simple things like little earrings. And I wear this necklace every single day. I've been wearing it for the last 10 years. So it's not something that I'm sorry that I actually bought, because it's something I wear every day. So Marlo, share some of your skins with us. Come on. I want to hear some tips from you. What do you do?
I definitely save whenever I can. I love to get your app for your store if you got some kind of points and discounts connected to it. My gas, I get reduced rate gas because I get my points from the grocery store and it's connected to gas. So like any way that I can save a little bit here or there. As y'all can see, I have my JC Penney collection around my neck today. I love costume jewelry. I like to bling. I'm from the home of the big timers and the bling bling and all the things.
But I don't get a boots with your pimped out Gucci suit.
Bling bling. Every time I come around, you say they bling bling. Bling bling bling. Every time I buy.
Our boys reunion breaking out on the chat. Okay. So I think saving my problem is food, y'all. I'm gonna admit, I like to eat. I like a nice food experience. So that's
food
experience. I'm prioritizing to spend money on food, y'all. But also,
you said the key word, Marlo. You're prioritizing. Yeah, so it's not like you're giving to get something.
Exactly. So some things I save a little bit on so that I can spend a little bit elsewhere. And my partner is a master of things that clean and solutions. And so when I used to go out, I used to buy $60 worth of cleaning supplies. This brother could make it work for like $4.88. So I don't even have to, I can save money in that respect because the stuff works. So there I am, saving where I can so that I can enjoy the things that I enjoy and that make me happy, like Athena said.
Right. Well, Big Mac says he doesn't go out to eat as much because that can add up very quickly, especially if it's more than just you, even you and your spouse, or don't add the kids in there.
You see, this is why me and Big Mac can't be together, because everything I want to do, he don't want to do.
Oh, that's too great. Big Mac, you're losing.
Y'all are on the bus.
Big Mac, you're losing game. Juvenile says Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and Ross! Exclamation point. Yeah, that's where I'll go first, honey. I will wander those aisles all day long. And I'll carry a cart around, y'all. I'm gonna admit, sometimes I'll just get a cart and just roll it around, put things in it and be like, yeah, that's cute. And then go back, put it back. Cause I'm just weird like that. And Big Mac also says he uses coupons too. So I think that we all understand that we can't get caught up in this lifestyle, but those who do tend to put their values more on money and material things than things that make you happy and things that can bring a emotional return. So, Lindsay, I want to ask you, do you think that the biggest distractions are just trying to keep up with everybody? What is the real problem with us not being able to build our wealth when we're trying to keep up with the Joneses?
Yes, yes. So a lot of times we'll have issues with needing validation. So back on the clip that we played a few minutes ago, I absolutely loved that Chad was like, I don't need y'all to validate me, because sometimes when we are having issues with our self-worth, remember those 3 pillars I mentioned at the beginning, self-care, self-worth, and self-discipline. If we're lacking self-worth, then that can lead to a lack of self-care. That can lead to a lack of self-discipline that causes you to overspend. And so we can't be worried about other people validating us, because then that means, one, our validation is external, and two, our validation is fleeting, because people will flip like that. They will like you today and hate you tomorrow. And if your value and your sense of self-worth is kept up in what other people think about you, then you're going to be all over the place emotionally, mentally. Those things will start to play on you physically, because all of it's connected, which is why it's so important to understand where your sense of self-worth is, so you can have self-discipline for the things that you desire and practice and prioritize self-care and things like that. And also, if we could run it to the scripture for just a second, John 12:43 says, Jesus condemned the Pharisees because they loved the glory that comes from man more than the glory that comes from God. And I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself that the only validation I need will be from the good Lord. So I need to know if he's pleased with what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and not if you're pleased.
But you know, that is a lot, Lindsay. That is a lot to learn. I also grew up in the church, and I understand those scriptures backward and forwards, but I always was the black sheep of the neighborhood. I was always the one that was bullied. I was always the one, you look different. You know, I was always the one. So there was this need in me that wanted to be accepted by my peers, and so it took me years, and when I tell you years before I accepted myself, it wasn't until I was really in my 40s that I started saying, what the hell? No, I need to focus on me. And that's where the self-healing started. It's something about them 40s. And now that I've lost my sisters and I'm in my 50s, I'm at the, I don't even want to say the bad word, but I do. I do. I feel like fucking. I don't care. I don't care what you say to me. I don't care what you think of me. I don't care what you expect from me. Go somewhere else. You don't pay my bills. So I have a different mindset that we've been talking about than when I had in my 20s. And I think that we as parents, we as aunties, we as queens need to be able to express that and show that to this younger generation so that maybe they can catch on a little bit earlier. Back to Ocho, same thing. He caught on to it early, right? So let's share a couple of stats that we have. Did you know, y'all, this is a pretty high stat. 78% of NFL players face bankruptcy or severe financial stress within 2 years of retiring. And their average career length in the NFL is about 3.3 years. I mean, we live much longer than that. But when you think, guys, of all the injuries that they have, 3.3 years of playing and then living a life with back problems, head injuries, things of that nature, that's a lot to let sink in. And let's look at the NBA players. 60% of the NBA players are broke within 5 years of retirement. Oh my God, that's so high. Athena, I need you to help me understand. Since their careers are always so short, why do you think more players don't plan for their financial future? What are they doing? Are they just living in the moment and not what comes after?
I think when you look at most of these NFL players don't come from rich, prestigious backgrounds where financial literacy is being taught like that. So I think with a lot of the men, they're just doing what they're trying to emulate what is being presented before them, especially with how men operate. They always look up to the men that are doing well and try to reach that status, because men are very power hungry and have desires, that testosterone, like, I need to be the man on top. The other thing I want to note outside of that, though, is, and we haven't even touched on this, is a lot of these NFL players, while they might be putting money aside, are they really saving that much money with certain behaviors? Because a lot of them are womanizer. Even Chad has 8 kids with 7 women, and we have not discussed that. Now, he may have been able to stash his salary, but how much of his money is he being financially prudent with by creating how many children, child support, and households, right? So what we also have to understand when it comes to money is that we need to take a holistic approach. A person can be disciplined in one area and fall short in another area. And we see this with men all the time, that their social and romantic behaviors aren't conducive to wealth building, right? Even Cam Newton, we had a episode about him the other day about how many homes he's taking and all that, right? So what I'm encouraging is that we look at all aspects of our life, right? Because financial is not just the salary we take home. It is also our personal behaviors in our social relationships, so that we can make sure that everything that we're doing is for the advances us forward and have like wellness in all aspects of our lives.
I love that. Wealth, wellness. That is a powerful statement. T-shirt. It needs to be on a T-shirt. I cannot believe that we are, guys, when we get on really great topics, man, every day we get on great topics, but it just seems like this hour just flies by. Like, you know, we have so much more that we can dig into this, but I think we all have brought some really good knowledge for people. And then also, guys, we've taught you that you can learn where you can get your wealth. We've told you where you can find us to do that on our website. But also, a lot of us here, right here on this panel, we have our own businesses, right? So entrepreneurs, are you looking to get your brand noticed? Advertise with us on Fly Nubian Money. We go live 5 days a week on pages with distributions to millions of the subscribers. And our audience is engaged, intelligent, of course, and ready to connect with new businesses like yours. And this is your chance to reach people who want to know about what your business is and what you do. So don't miss out. And it's really simple. If you want to get your business highlighted, all you need to do, once again, is to email us at info@realvirtual.net, info@REELVIRTUAL.net. Okay, they threw a couple of little twists in there for you. So make sure that you take a screenshot right now, because it's right there on the screen, and put Fly Nubian Money ad in the subject line for our ad rates, and we'll help you to grow your business together. All right. So you see, we do a lot of great things here, and we have wonderful topics, and we also have queens that can help you get your money right, get your money tight as well. So we're going to move into final thoughts for today. And I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Marlo. What are your final thoughts on this? And where can we find you?
Final thought is, at some point, the train is going to stop, right? That's the lesson that we can learn from these NFL players, NBA players, that at some point, your highest, your most visible, your most popping moment will come to an end. And are you prepared for what comes behind that? Are you prepared for a time when the phone isn't ringing and the money isn't coming in, to be still enjoying a quality of life that you want without sacrificing everything and turning your back on everything that you once enjoyed because you can't indulge anymore because you didn't plan? So I think that the big lesson learned today is plan, prepare, understand your worth, and don't get into the competition, right? Don't fall victim to the what are those, right? Like the kids say on the internet with the shoes. Like, what are those? What shoes are you wearing? Don't fall into that, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I don't care. You got $1,000 worth of clothes on and your attitude is shitty and your personality is garbage juice. What does it matter, right? Go fix it. Go fix the inside. And then I don't care what's on the outside, because I'll be like, oh, girl, you look so cute today. And then you happy to tell me you paid $20 for this dress at Ross because you feel good about yourself, because you're emitting the right energy. And so I'd say always inward. Always inward. What's on the inside radiates out. And that's how you attract the great things, the money, the opportunities. It all starts on the inside. Fix that. I love y'all. You can find me anywhere on the internet. Read my writing. I write under my name, Marlo Layson. I also create video content under that same name. If you're looking for me on the internet, you can find me on Instagram at Over Marlo. That is my first name backward, forward, and a little underscore at the end.
And we love our Marlo. But guess what else we have on Marlo this week? We have her birthday. Happy birthday, Marlo. Happy birthday to
you. Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, ladies.
Listen. Listen, y'all send something to Marlo's Cash App. Y'all drop something to Marlo's Cash App.
Yes.
Like, oh, you probably could have
got me lunch.
Love it. Oh, absolutely love it. Lindsay, what are your final thoughts and where can we find you?
So my final thoughts on this situation is to really truly understand first your relationship with money and how you interact and engage with money, because that is going to be the foundation of whether you are keeping money or making money, earning money, investing money, all of the different things around money. So understand your relationship with money, and then understand that validation, you can't get it from external things or from external people. So figure out where any issues with self-worth are. And remember, like, if you're constantly holding on to your money with a tight grip like this, then you also don't have any space in your hands to receive money. So you got to let loose a little bit, because money is a currency. It flows in and out. So if you're constantly hoarding it, like, it's an extreme. We can't have extremes one way or the other. Too much of anything, whether positive or negative, is bad. So we got to find a happy balance between saving our money, investing our money, and then being able to afford ourselves pleasures and things that we desire. So really just understanding that relationship that you have with money and with yourself as well. So my name is Lindsay Vertner, international mindset coach and speaker, and you can find me at liveafirstclasslife.com, where if you need to hire me as a speaker, you want to shop some lifestyle apparels because you done saved your coins, now you want to buy you a good personal development book or a nice little hoodie, you can do that all at liveafirstclasslife.com. I am super excited, and I love just working with leaders to help them prioritize self without guilt.
I love that. You said so many things that I subscribe to. I learned a long time ago that you can't catch your blessings if your hands are closed. And I absolutely love that. Another t-shirt. I got a lot of work to do. I'm making me some t-shirts because these are just too good of wisdom. Athena, what is your final thought and where can we find you?
Final thoughts are this. Make sure that you understand your emotions and your own psychology behind money. Recommend reading this book, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. It really helps you to dive into different philosophies and how the psychology really affects your purchasing and your money and how you treat your money. If you would like a coach that will help you through understanding your emotions around money and give you wealth strategies to help you become successful, you can always find me at wewealthwomen.com. You can book time for me on my services. Ladies, I have a course called The Goddess Guide to Money if you want to level up financially. And you can find me at We Wealth Women on social media and listen to the podcast, the We Wealth Women podcast.
Awesome. And I do know Athena has a lot of great resources for you as well. So make sure that you go and follow this queen. Make sure you go and follow all of us because we all have something for you. But we always like to bring it here so that we can give it to you in all this beautiful energy. So my final thoughts is this. There's nothing wrong with enjoying some things every once in a while. If you want them red bottom shoes, okay, you can have a pair of red bottom shoes. But do you really need 10 of them in your wardrobe? And what is your credit card debt looks like? You can't enjoy life if you have the stress of debt over your head. So live a balanced life. Enjoy time with others because material things aren't the whole source of the joy of life. I've learned that more than anything in this last year. By losing my sisters, I have found that there are more value in people and relationships than it is for a big house or a big car or some fancy $1,000 dress. I'd rather spend time growing and learning with others than having certain things in my life that just don't matter. So that is my message to you. And you can find me at bit.ly/Laura Key Info. I have a lot of free resources there for you today. And guess what? In the next month, I will be having a free course for home buying if you want to get educated on that. So go on over to my page and subscribe to the newsletter so that you can get some information on that. Finally, we want to say thank you for joining us. But Chad Ochocinco Johnson shows us that wealth isn't just about what you make. It's about how smart you are with what you have. Whether you're flying Spirit or skipping the flashy jewelry, the real question is, are you making your money work for you? And in the end, it's not about looking rich. It's about staying rich. And let's also say that rich doesn't necessarily mean money. So are you investing in your future? Are you spending for today? I'm going to leave you with that question and answer that for yourself. But make sure that you go over to flynubianmoney.com as well so that you can get the free resources that we have for you there. And if you want to make sure you want to see our show every day, go ahead and text the word Queens, QUEENS, to 87948, and then make sure that you follow us on Spotify. Queens, we had another great show. I am grateful to you. I love spending time with you. It's like girlfriends to me. I love it. And I think we also spit some knowledge today. So thank you for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all be blessed.